The graph to the right illustrates the average number of people living on parcels of land of various sizes in 1960. Complete parts 1 through 4. In part 1, we're given that the graph passes through the points 2, 100 and 3, 150. Discuss the meaning of these 2 points. Choose the correct answer below. Let's start with the first point. The first coordinate is 2. What we want to recall is that the first coordinate corresponds with the input variable, which in this case is x. And the x values lie along the horizontal axis. And we can see from the scale that the x values represent the land area in acres. So since the x value is 2, that indicates that the meaning has something to do with 2 acres. The second coordinate of the point is 100. This second number 100 is a y value, and we notice that the y values are along our vertical axis, and the scale tells us that the y values represent the population, and the population is measured in people. So our second number 100 corresponds with 100 people. So this first ordered pair indicates that on 2 acres there are 100 people. On 2 acres there are 100 people. When we read through the problem, it does say the graph to the right illustrates the average number of people living on parcels of land. So actually on 2 acres the average number of people is 100. So we want to choose or pick the answer choice that conveys that meaning. When we read choice A, it says 2 acres have 100 people and 3 acres have 150 people on average. So that sounds exactly like what we were just saying, and so A is the correct answer. Now as you read through the answer choices, you might notice on D it has a similar statement. It says 2 acres have exactly 100 people and 3 acres have exactly 150 people. But the word exactly, that's what makes this not a correct answer. In the statement of the problem it says the average number of people, not the exact number of people. So A is the correct choice. Notice also that the ordered pair 3, 150, that means that 3 acres have 150 people on average. Part 2 says find the slope-intercept form of the line. So let's recall the slope-intercept form of a line. The slope-intercept form of a line is y is equal to mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. In order to find the slope of the line, we need to have 2 points, and in part 1 we were given the points 2, 100 and 3, 150. So let's recall our formula for finding the slope. The slope is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, where x1, y1, those are the coordinates of the first point, and x2, y2, those are the coordinates of the second point. So in this case, if we treat 2, 100 as our first point and 3, 150 as our second point, then we get 150 minus 100 divided by 3 minus 2, and that's equal to 50 over 1, which reduces to 50. So the slope of the line is 50. In order to find the y-intercept of the line, what we can do is to substitute the slope 50 into the equation along with the coordinates of one of our 2 points. If we use the first point, we could substitute 2 for x and 100 for y. So let's go ahead and do that. For y, we'll substitute 100. For m, we'll substitute 50. For x, we'll substitute 2, and then we'll add b. We have not figured out the y-intercept yet, and so we have to leave b in the formula. Now we go ahead and solve for b. On the left, we have 100. On the right, 50 times 2 is 100, and then plus b. To solve for b, we need to undo addition, so let's subtract 100 from both sides, and that gives us b is equal to 0. The y-intercept is 0, which kind of makes sense that if you had 0 acres, then you would expect that there would be 0 people on 0 acres on average. So m, our slope is 50, b is equal to 0. We just substitute those values into the equation, and that will give us our answer. Y is equal to 50x, and then plus 0. We don't have to write the plus 0 down, just y is equal to 50x. In part 3, we're asked to interpret the slope as a rate of change. In order to do that, it's important to go back and attach units to the slope. So let's think about what the units are for our slope. When we calculated y2 minus y1, what we want to recall is that y2 and y1, those represented the number of people. And so 150 people minus 100 people. So we have people is the unit of measurement for the numerator. And then divided by 3 minus 2. Well, 3 and 2 represented numbers of acres, so we're dividing people by acres. So as we come down, we have 50 people per 1 acre. And then finally 50 people per acre. So the way that we would interpret the slope as a rate of change is that there are 50 people per acre on average. So let's see which choice corresponds with that. Let's read through them until we find the one that matches. A says the land has exactly this many people per acre. Well, it doesn't have this many people exactly, it's on average, so A is not the correct answer. Part B says the land has this many people per acre on average. That's exactly what we've just been saying. So B is the correct answer for part 3. Part 4 says to write the equation of this line as a linear function p that outputs the average number of people living on X acres of land. So what we want to do is to recall function notation. In general, we have y is equal to f of x, where f is the name of the function. But in this case, we're told that the name of the function is p, so the function notation will be y is equal to p of x. P of x is the same as the y value. So what we do is we look back at the equation that we wrote in 2, and in place of the y, we're going to substitute p of x. So here's the y. In place of the y, we're going to put p of x. So p of x is equal to 50x. So what it really means is that the population for a given number of acres is equal to 50 multiplied by the number of acres.